which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for coming, everybody. A little chilly out tonight, but we're tough. Roll call.
Sandy Kufelt. Here. Chris O'Regan.
Accounted for.
Christy Hilton. Here. Artie Bryson.
Here.
Cindy Valentine. Here. Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here. Okay, we're all here and present. First, I'll entertain a motion for bills payable.
I'll make a motion for bills payable in the amount of $99,324.89.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any questions or anything on it? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. That brings us right into the supervisor's report. As I always start out with high water, current status, our water is up. Scary up for me. I mean, we were looking good right after Christmas, and between Christmas and New Year's, we got a little rain, and it jumped up 2 inches, and then a week ago, over the weekend, we got, it was like a typhoon that came through here with lots of rain, and the water spiked up about a foot from that, and it has receded a little bit, about 3-4 inches from the high, but it's still holding. I mean, we're pretty close to what our levels we were in August, which is scary. And we're going to talk more about it because we're having a discussion on high water preparation, what the board wants to do and not want to do going forward, because we're getting a lot of phone calls. And people asking me, what's the program, and I think they deserve an answer, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for them. And I got a little insight on a few other communities, what they're going to be doing near us too. They're actually having a January 27th in Macomb County a high water meeting with their emergency management. And, all the people from NOAA and the Corps and everything, they invited me to attend that meeting. And so I'm going to go to that. It'll be interesting to see what Macomb County's doing going forward. And I will say, too, we tried to do a temporary no wake on the channels this past year. We failed to do that because we didn't have support of the governor. So we're going around, and we're trying to get some legislation passed to give the locals the right to declare a temporary no wake. And granted, enforcement will still be an issue. That bill is written. I haven't seen the rough draft of it yet, but they told me. I saw the very rough draft of it, and. It's written, and we're waiting for a bill number, and as soon as we get that, I'm going to present that to the DNR subcommittee. And I've talked to the head of the Speaker of the House and the head of the Senate and Majority Leader and the chair of the DNR, and they don't see any problem with it going, but we're going to push that through as fast as I possibly can, or have them push it through. That will be interesting going forward. After the rain last week, Sunday, our wastewater treatment plant, it has a capacity of 2 million gallons a day. And we normally are about 1 million gallons a day. Actually, this time a little less. But from all the infiltration from the rain that we had, it was incredible. It was a record. We had 11 million gallons. And thank God we didn't have to put untreated water into the river. We were able to handle it, but it was close. So, I mean, that's just some of the issues that we have to deal with this high water, and it's people don't realize that or see that, it doesn't affect them. But it was it was close. John was going out and checking all the flows at all the lift stations and everything. We were just inundated from everywhere. And it was us, Elginak, Ira, New Baltimore. They had big issues with their wastewater. I mean, it was everywhere.
Do we know what attributed to the spike?
The rain, water, and infiltration. You know, it was everywhere. I mean, we made great strides to correct that last year, but I don't know if people were pumping, you know, from their sump pumps in underneath their houses into the.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It was, you know, the 2 days after that, we were back to normal. So, and we did have a sewer line break at the end of Pearl Beach, which the water department did fix. We had a big sinkhole from it, and they were on that big time. Just want to mention the Flamingo Bridge. I had a roads meeting here last week, and that's still a go, and we got all the funding set up. They're working on designs, and they can't figure out what designs. They actually have 4 different designs. They're trying to figure out what's the best. They're worried about driving pipe down so close to the people's houses. They're going back and forth which way to do that. Hopefully we'll have an answer here very quick on that. But everything's in place to have that, or all set to have that bridge replaced this coming year. And there will be, during the construction, there will be a temporary floating bridge while it's being put up. So I don't know, I asked the question, I didn't get an answer yet. I'm sure there'll be some sort of weight restrictions, you know, on that. When it's there, I don't know what that is yet. And we asked about the Starville Bridge, and that's not supposed to start till resume this spring. One big thing is for them to finish that, they need the asphalt, and all the asphalt plants are closed till it gets warmer. And let's see, we are having there's a meeting at the Road Commission to go over our programs for the township going forward. And if anyone wants to join me, it's more than welcome. It's February 26th at 1 p.m. And what they do, they go over how the whole county is funded from Act 51 money. It's kind of interesting. I got a pretty good handle on that part of it. And they go over all the projects and our specific projects that we have and the cost of things. The biggie going up is the cost of limestone for our roads. It's going to go up 15%. But everything else is pretty much the same. We did settle the grievance with MAFF over the promotions, and we're looking at promotional language in the contract going forward. I sent them a proposal, they sent a reply, and so we'll be hammering that out here in the next week or two. Working with DTE to convert all our streetlights to LED. They're actually doing an audit right now on the streetlights that we have, and they'll give us a price with a return of investment on it here probably in a month or two. So we can go forward with that if we so choose. Next week, next meeting, we'll probably be looking at adjusting our building fees and permit costs. I think there's a resolution floating around on my desk for it. That should be coming to the board here next week. Working on putting on the garbage contract out to bids. I got the bid documents just about ready. I tweaked it a little bit. And in there, I got 3 companies interested in bidding. And I'm also opening it up to if they want to provide their own, every customer with a trash container, a garbage can, if you will. You know, because a lot of companies like to have their own. I told them that that's optional. They can put that in the bid, and, of course, with recycling. And I did put, yard waste, but I know for a fact that yard waste is expensive, and recycling is gonna go up too. So, those bids are going to, I'll probably shoot them out, the end of this week, and, they're supposed to come back in, I think I put February 20th or something. So, that will give them ample time to come up with sharpen their pencils and come up with a bid.
Artie, isn't the terms on that are quite expansive too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a one-year contract?
No, you won't get a bid for a one-year contract because minimum is 5 years, just because there's an investment on the garbage company's side to take over a municipality with, the recyclables and this and that, and, they gotta hire people and make sure they have the trucks and everything. You won't get anybody to bid under a 5-year contract.
Okay.
Looking for alternate ZBA board member, a zoning board of appeals. If anyone's interested, please let me know. I'm gonna start putting it out on social media. If anyone wants to be on our ZBA, we meet 12 times, once a month, usually. Sometimes you miss a meeting, but we'll train you and get you up to speed. We met with several groups over in the police station. It was actually, this was led by the U.S. Coast Guard, and they're putting together a 48-hour chemical spill response plan together. And I think the Coast Guard, NOAA was there, EPA was there, the Canadian Coast Guard was there. There was probably about 15 people there, and it was dealing with a 48-hour response time or response for a chemical spill in the flats. We're identifying what needs to be boomed off and where to most effectively protect our wildlife and our area here in the river. And it was, Chrissy was there, and it was pretty good because, they definitely forgot to boom off some critical spots like the entrance and the Crispin Drain and then the canals down by St. John's Drive and all of those. And two, I know it's on the Canadian, but two big places, it was the Snybora and the Shimatagan, because that helps out the Canadians quite a bit. And so we went through that. It was a good meeting. They are going to do a training exercise probably in the fall. We don't know yet when that will be. But it was, like I say, it was well attended by a lot of people with lots of concerns. So they never really did have a specific plan for us in the flats, and that's what they're developing. Our auditors, they're going through a name change. They're going to be from, what's their name? Stuart Beauvais Whipple. They're going to be changed to UHY. They're doing a merger, and I talked to Mr. Bailey, our head auditor, and Tammy, who we deal with on a daily, or as we need to, not a daily basis. The same people are going to remain in place in the same rates. I guess UHY wanted to get more in the municipality type of the auditing, and that's why they're doing this merger, and they're going to retain all the people that we're dealing with. So you'll see a name change on there, but that's the only thing that will be changed. The rates are going to maintain the same, the people who we deal with, and the services are going to be maintained as we have been. I've actually had, I think, 8 people now that express interest to me on serving on the Harson's Island Transportation Authority Board. I'm not sure who approached the association yet, because they also pick people that are gonna be on this board. And, we did some checking, and the board is the only way, actually, believe it or not, the only way to dissolve a transportation authority is the state legislature has to do it. They can't even dissolve themselves. So, I'll have, two people that, I'll recommend for the board to consider to appoint. And I'll get with, the association and I both have to agree on the homeowners association on one person. I really haven't had any conversations with them yet, and, but then how it works is they will appoint two people too for this board to approve. So, I know at least I'll have 2.5 people to recommend, at our next meeting. We did find,
Excuse me,
Yeah.
before you move on, when you bring those recommendations to us, can you also bring us the list of people who were interested?
sure,
Thank you.
yep. They will all be in there. We did find a building issue at the police station, and, there's a wall or a floor that's dropping a little bit in the old section. And we're having it assessed right now as far as the cause and what we're gonna have to do going forward. We were just talking about before we met, we're not sure, if it's caused by a plumbing leak or something, or just the ground with the high water, we're not sure yet. But we'll have to address that going forward here in the next, few weeks. We had our engineer look at it, and, well, it's a problem we're gonna have to figure out. And, we got all kinds of rec plans and, Parks and Rec stuff going forward. If you're on, Facebook, like us at, Clay Township Parks and Rec, or, give us a call. We got all kinds of stuff. I know we have a bus trip going to a Red Wings game, and, a couple other things that are pretty cool coming up in the near future. And what else? Oh, one thing, I want to go back to high water a little bit. I forgot to mention, Saturday, I went to during the blizzard, I went to the boat show. And, in there, the Marine, Macomb County Marine Patrol had a booth there, and the Wayne County Marine Patrol had a booth there, and the DNR, Conservation had a booth there. And they were handing out literature about, safety, boating safety and everything. And I kind of wish we saw St. Clair County Marine Patrol, but, I'll get back to that in a second. But none of them, I was shocked, not one of them knew about the 200, 600-foot rule in the St. Clair River. OMG. And, so especially the DNR guy, because they're, it's up to them to enforce it. And, so, this morning I talked to Tim Donlin, and he was going to get the literature on the 200, 600-foot rule and the maps and stuff to them to hand out. And so hopefully we can get some people educated, because those are the people, I'm sorry, that are, in my mind, that are giving us wake problems, and there's a lot of new boaters walking around there, you can tell. So that's the people we gotta hit, and hopefully that will happen, and we'll get some education going on down there too, so.
We need a copy of the map that they're using.
Okay, we don't have it?
Remember, there's,
Yeah, there's 2 different ones floating
or
out.
3 or 4.
Yeah, but we can do that, so. Okay,
Question, Artie.
yeah,
Backing up to the garbage contract, I'm assuming that it's going to have a failure to perform contract in there?
yeah, they usually do, you have to prove that there's a failure, that they failed, and, you gotta do it in written notice.
And we're also going to have a quit notice in there?
A what?
A quit notice, or notice to quit?
Well,
The 30 days, they give it 30 days if they're going to quit or back out?
yeah,
Okay.
You know, that's standard.
Right.
But yeah, for us to fire them because of lack of service, that's, you know, you gotta prove that. Like I say, it is an initial investment on their part. GFI and Republic are plus Terra will be quoting. Republic just started in New Baltimore, and they seem, I talked to Bonnie, the city manager there, and she said, you know, the first couple, 3 months, there was hiccups, because, you know, they're getting, you know,
Gotta find a way.
getting it ironed out, but since then, they've been doing okay, so.
About the current service provider, have your calls slowed down at all
Yes.
in the office?
Yes, I must admit, they put a new supervisor down here on board about 6 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, Mike, and he's a lot more attentive and communicates a lot more. In other words, if there's a problem, he'll call us, you know, ahead of time, like we had one on St. John's Drive, and he called us and warned us about it, and so I have to admit, I wish they would have found him a lot longer, yeah, a lot sooner, but it has improved, but like I say, it's an expense. I mean, we're up to about $700,000 a year, so it needs to go out for bid.
Yeah, you bet.
So, and Tara did tell me that, well, we could probably do a better deal if it didn't go out for bid than if we bid. I guess, well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Free market.
We're going out to bid, so.
Good.
All right. Under new business, we got the consent agenda.
No.
Public comments.
Oh, yeah, we got public comments. Do we have any public comments? Any public comments? No?
Going once?
All right, moving right along. We have the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
That's a long one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a cough drop after all that talking.
I might need one. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the minutes of the board meeting of January 6th, 2020. Thank you. In synopsis, check reports, there were no notices, the communication on no wake, and requests for Sherry Lawton for Michigan Assessor Association renewal for $90, Sherry Lawton St. Clair County Assessor Association renewal for $25, Sherry Lawton 2020 MTA Annual Educational Conference and Expo, April 27th through 30th, 2020, for $353 plus lodging. Christy Hilton 2020 MTA Annual Educational Conference and Expo, April 27th through 30th, 2020, $353 plus lodging. And Christy Hilton MMTA 2020 Advanced Institute, May 18th through 20th, 2020, $325 plus lodging.
Support.
We have motion and support for the consent agenda. Any questions or anything?
Yeah, I have some input. I think that my schedule's gonna allow, I would like to attend the MTA conference as well. And I don't know if today's format and the timing is such, but I'd like to throw my name in the hat. I'd certainly like to attend that conference, and I don't think I'm alone in that stance. I think
I'm planning on going.
you're planning on going? Okay.
Yep. Is anyone,
I'll be out of town.
okay, do you want to go to that conference, Mark, or?
No.
I mean, you
I
can
can't
get
go.
to it, tell us later.
I can't go.
Sherry's going,
So
aren't you?
should we add
I'd like to go.
Cindy,
back.
Artie, and Chris
Yeah.
on there? I mean,
Sandy.
so it's,
Sandy.
Yeah.
Is that in Florida?
and Sandy.
Huh?
Sandy.
No, not in
Florida or
Florida.
Novi?
It's up north.
Shall I just put additional board members?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Perfect.
I did want to mention too, we did have a communication of Wake. It was our second one. We had a member of the old club, they wrote us a letter. They want us to make a no wake area, basically from the old club going north a little bit. And my own feeling is, we're just not gonna do a no wake in front of them and a half mile north. I mean, it's the whole township where it's none. I know they have problems there with the boardwalk and everything, but they're not the only ones in the township that has problems from wakes. So, and I've been communicating with them how we are working on the possibility of doing a temporary no-wake legislation, but they wanted to make a permanent no-wake there, and, you know, we have enforcement issues and other issues, so, I mean, if the board at some point in time would like to look at that, we can, but that's what it is. All right, moving forward. First thing, mutual aid agreement between Ira and Clay Township. This needs to be renewed.
Artie, don't we have to vote to approve the consent?
Oh, yeah, we should vote. We should vote. We do have I'm sorry, man, I'm on these antibiotics.
Get it.
They're kicking my butt.
We had an
Got your
amendment
back.
to the consent agenda.
Yeah, no, we did have an amendment on the consent agenda to add some of the trustees and other people.
Yep.
Just additional board members if interested.
Additional,
Yep,
right.
perfect. So now we had motion and support?
We have motion and support,
Yes.
and any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right.
Hoorah.
Right.
Okay, mutual aid agreement. We have a mutual aid agreement that we need to be signed between our fire department and Ira Fire Department. It's pretty standard. Basically, I'm looking for a motion from the board to let me sign this contract along with Chief Rose.
I'll make a motion to approve the mutual aid agreement between Clay Township Fire Department and Ira Township Fire Department.
Support.
Okay, any discussion?
Chief? You in favor of this? No more questions.
Hearing none, or no more, roll call vote, please.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kupel.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we want to have a discussion on selling our share of the shared ladder truck. We do have a ladder truck that is shared between us, Ira, and Algonac. And well, we have that for 8 years now. Yes. And I know Chief wants to get out of it just because going forward, it's going to start costing us a lot more money. And we really never had to, the years we had it, really didn't have a need for it. And also, we do have a mutual aid agreement for New Baltimore's ladder truck if we need it. I wrote up the report. It will start costing us a lot more money. This truck is 25 years old, and it's going to start nickeling and diming us, and the chief is thinking that now is a good time to get out of it while it still has value on the open market. And I personally have an issue because the truck is under Clay Township insurance policy, and we're only in control of it a third of the time. So if Ira has it or Algonac has it, if something happens with it, we're responsible for it with our insurance, and our rates are reflected on it. And that's the way it was set up originally. And so I have a problem with that too. But I was gonna say, let's open it up for discussion. And Ira, I did talk to their supervisor and their treasurer. They're leaning in favor of either selling it or just investing their share of it too. So I don't know if they're taking action on it at their next meeting or not. I haven't heard. But I know they were having serious conversations about it also. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Do either of those other municipalities have the ability, or have they offered to carry the insurance on it?
I am not sure. I'm sure they have the ability. It was set up in the contract, the original contract, where it would be on Ira's, or in Clay's insurance.
What about Algonac? Are they interested in,
I believe they're interested in keeping the truck. I'm not sure. If they so decide to, we'd have to get it appraised, and they would have to buy us out and Ira out if Ira so chooses. If they don't want to keep it, then we just sell it on the open market and divvy it up. Per the contract.
Chief Rose, have you had discussions with Chief Doan about this directly?
I mentioned to him that I wanted to get out of it earlier this year because I was told by the person that does our maintenance on the vehicle that it's going to start costing us money. And if you want to get something for it, now would be the time to look at selling it.
You know what the current value is of that truck?
No, I don't.
We'd have to get it appraised, but what, maybe 70 grand?
I believe at the time they purchased it was
It was
80,000.
80 grand when we bought it.
So it's registered in Clay Township as an asset, is that correct?
Yes.
And we devalue that every year?
I'm not sure what the accounting does with it, but
The expenses incurred every year are split between the 3 municipalities, correct?
Yes,
Evenly?
yes. I do the billing on it.
Do we have a list of items that they think are potentially going to need to be replaced, or?
we didn't, you asked for a report yet, but we didn't get it yet, right?
I asked for a report from the maintenance. I have not gotten it yet. But as far as a list of the equipment, I don't believe there is one. I never have one, had one.
But you just want to get out of it, or we want to get her out of it, just because it's an unnecessary cost, correct?
Cost and liability.
Cost and liability.
Chief, since we've had it, do you know, how many times have we needed this fire truck?
Since I've been on the department, we've
Yeah.
used it twice, and once was on Anchor Bay Drive, at the end of Anchor Bay Drive, and the other time was at Stone and Field. They supplied our engine.
Right, but was it necessary, or is it, I'm getting, is it a necessary piece of equipment, or is it a luxury?
It's a nice to have.
Yeah. So,
I guess my concern is that we've stated that the buildings that we've identified that may need them one day, perhaps, are marinas, schools, and Autocraft being a large business in the area, so I have a hard time saying, I hope you don't need it one day.
what types of buildings do we have that we need it for? I mean, do we, like the marinas, or?
You can use it at marinas.
Yeah.
You can use it at some of the factories that we have, schools. But we also have to look at the accessibility. There are some buildings in this township that we cannot access that aerial device with. And it's only 70 foot tall.
you can't get to it.
You
know,
can't get to the structure because where the structure is located.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, for a ladder truck, the roof has to be breached by the fire before it's really effective putting water in it, right?
Right. You
Right,
can
right.
also use it for ventilation if you need to ventilate the building safely.
Okay. So the old saying, if the bucket goes up, the building's going down, right, already, so.
One thing that I've seen over the years is that they use it as a carnival ride, to go up and down with the children in it. That's
Right.
nice for the kids, but it also is extreme wear and tear on all the gears and the cranks and,
And Elginak uses it to put their Christmas decorations up. So,
And I know that Chief didn't allow them to do that especially at the fair over the field day at the island.
right.
So what would the next step be? We list it for sale, and then we obtain a buyer, and then we split the assets between the three municipalities?
I believe that's how the contract reads.
Right.
You have 60 days.
Yeah, we have 60 days. Or if one of them wants to stay in it, we'd get it appraised.
Right.
And then they would buy our share out. But I think what Chief is getting at, he'd rather spend the money or take this money and put it towards something that we need and we use more often than something that we don't.
The minimal cost that we've had on this truck for the last year and a half, 2.5 years, I have a hard time disposing of it at this time.
Okay.
But I think we need to take a look at revising the contract so that the other municipalities maybe take a share of the insurance and things like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you could do that with an insurance company unless we had one policy just for that truck and shared it.
Something we can certainly look into.
Yeah.
Chief, did we either intentionally or inadvertently send a letter out to the other municipalities about this truck?
Yes, I did. I didn't send it out. I hand-delivered it.
You hand-delivered it?
Yes, I did.
So as a township asset, don't you think that you would need the board's support to deliver that letter in the future?
I did. I spoke to Supervisor Bryson about it.
Okay. So Chief, I want to remind you that Supervisor Bryson is one of 7 trustees who all have equal power on this board. And because that's a township asset, that needs to come through us.
Well, that's what we're doing.
It's your decision.
today.
It's absolutely your decision to bring that information to us. But yes, he's our supervisor, but he's one of 7 votes. So I have an issue with the fact that that is ours, it's the constituents, and it's an asset. So as an asset, I don't think we can freely sell an asset without board approval. So I want to make sure that moving forward, that we have your back and you have our back. That's all. I want to give you everything that you ask for. That's my job, is to keep you and the department safe. But at the same time, if this is considered an asset, which it is, and it's a piece of equipment, I value your opinion. And if your opinion is that we need to sell it, then I'll certainly take that under advisement. But I think it's our decision to make, not our supervisor's decision to make.
Have you read the contract
The contract for the ladder truck?
for the ladder truck?
No,
Okay.
no. Does it have specific language in the contract?
Well, I'm just saying, have you read the contract of the ladder truck?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of things we have to look into, the insurance, how the other cities look, Ira, Algonac, how they feel, and research it a little more before we make a
Wanna
firm.
postpone it?
Yeah, postpone it, and get some more information on it. These questions we've been asking, we say, well, we don't know. So I think we need to answer some of those questions.
I'd rather put it out there and see what kind of value we can get out of it, just on a contingency. Just put it out there for sale and see what kind of activity we have.
Well, you can't list it for sale unless all the municipalities agree to sell
Right.
it. You can get
We
it
have to
appraised, but.
Well, we can try to determine the value of it.
Yeah,
So we think right now that we think Algonac's interested in keeping it, and Ira's not sure?
Ira was gonna have a discussion on it. I mean, I talked to them, I talked to their supervisor, Jimmy, and Tom, one of their board members. What's Tom, is he the treasurer there, or?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a treasurer. they were both leaning on towards, of getting out of it. Both of them were leaning towards getting out of it. But alls I had was casual conversations with both of them. And like they say, we have mutual aid agreements with the ladder truck in New Baltimore. And they respond pretty quickly to our needs.
How many buyers, you experience in selling equipment like that, how many buyers you think would be out there in the municipalities that would want this? Have any idea at all?
It's hard to say. Maybe somebody in the northern part of our state might be interested in it.
You can put some feelers out and find out. If we take that, if we do have a sale on that truck, then some of this other stuff we can rearrange and move forward.
We
Okay.
could maybe get an unofficial
I'm not sure.
value of it, or someone to guess it.
I mean, I can, you know, I don't want to put a boat or something for sale on the market like a boat with a hole in it. You know, nobody's going to want it.
Right.
So let's find out if it's a desirable commodity that we can sell.
Good
We
point.
don't even know that we would want to sell it.
Well,
We have- we have a
just
legal
putting it out there to see
committee
if people do want it, then that's one thing, one hurdle we've cleared up.
That'd be one of the questions, we,
Yeah.
you know, answer some of the questions.
So we are in the process of getting a list of potential maintenance issues or problems.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any idea of the time
I
before we
was
get?
kind of hoping for it tonight, but he's been pretty busy, and he needs to come out here. And he's going to work on one of our vehicles, and that's when he's going to do it. So I'm hoping this
You think it would be by our
week.
next meeting?
Yes.
I'd make a motion that we postpone this till we get some more information.
Support.
Well, it was just a discussion, so what are we
Right.
postponing?
Decision on selling it.
So we're gonna revisit the discussion?
Yep.
I'd like to change the motion and see what we can get out there and see if the people, somebody out there does want it.
It's just a discussion, we can leave it on unfinished business, but it's not really anything that requires a motion.
Well, the chief can still move ahead with exploring the possibility of sale to some other municipality. Not that it's gonna be in concrete, and they should know that, tentative.
I'll edit
We don't wanna
my-
go down this road and find out we can't get rid of it. Anyways,
I'll amend my motion to postpone the discussion of the sale of the ladder truck and till we get some more information on the upcoming maintenance issues and a potential value.
And I'll amend my second. I'll take it back.
Any discussion
And then, and
You
then,
want to tell me what that was again?
to postpone the discussion on sale of the ladder truck and to get more information as to the potential value
marketability.
and the list of costs going forward.
I'll support that. Answer the questions that we've been, glad you're back.
Okay, any more discussion on that? So we have a motion to postpone the discussion of the ladder truck until we get more information. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. You opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Next, we have fire department, 4 sets of turnout gears with a total cost of $10,068.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of 4 sets of turnout gear in the amount of $10,068 from line item 206000766.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify what?
For 10,
Huh? Yep, that's right. We got a roll call vote, please.
Artie Bryson?
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanna Shirkey?
Yes,
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kufel?
Yes.
Crystal Reader?
Yes.
Christie Holden?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have ice rescue class. I'll entertain a motion.
Board, I'll make a motion that we approve the ice rescue course for the cost of $3,040, taken from line item training 206-000-960.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion?
and on some of these, it says freight's not included in the quote, so what do we know about that? How much we gotta pay for the freight on two of these?
That's cheap.
What's that?
The freight, it says freight not included in the quote.
I think that's just something they put on their quotes for when, they also sell ice rescue equipment too.
We're not shipping
They
that.
We're
have
not
to
shipping
deliver it?
anything.
Oh,
So
okay.
if they had to deliver.
Right, if they
they'd
have to
wanna
deliver something, that's
put
what
freight on it?
that's what it's all
Okay.
about.
Okay.
It says on here that this is for between 10 to 25 students. Do we have the support of the staff to fill the class 10 to 25?
Yes, we do.
Do we open this up to other departments too?
We're filling our
First.
and then if I have any open spots, I'll open it to the other departments.
Okay.
Ice rescue's been a thing the last few years, hasn't it?
Yep.
What was the reason it was canceled last year? Was it
Because of the ice conditions. We didn't have any ice.
We may not this year either.
just being
Can't we do it in a basketball court?
Yeah, right. That's,
great if we didn't have
we
any?
haven't even put water on that yet. Okay, any more, we have motion and support, right? Any more discussion on ice rescue course? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying yes or aye.
Aye.
Anyone
Yes.
opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we have 2 gas monitors.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 gas monitors for $4,612, line item 206-000-970.00.
Support.
A motion, all kinds of support. Chief, how old are the ones that we have that we're replacing?
Probably 25 years old.
They're 25 years old.
They were bought when I was on the department the last
Time
time.
ago.
I think we need new ones.
And how many do we have right now?
2 on the island, 5.
How often have you replaced the sensors in them?
They're done every year. They're,
So can you just describe the general application for these? It looks like they're worn right on your turnout gear.
you can wear it or you can hold it.
You can hold it?
Yep.
And what exactly does it do?
It's going to give you your LEL, your CO2, your H2S, and O2,
LEL is your lower explosive
lower explosive
limits,
levels.
In case you needed that information.
And because we're buying 2, are we replacing or adding to our collection, one for here, one for the island?
We're replacing,
Replacing?
yes.
And you also use these for a confined space entry?
Confined space,
Okay.
CO2 alarms.
If someone has a alarm go off in their house, which we get a lot.
Yep.
Go and check it for them.
So the other 3 that we have right now are suitable for use and,
Yes,
Are
we'll be
okay, fine.
replacing those as years go by in a replacement plan.
So they go, let me just help me understand, do they go with the trucks, the lead vehicle, the lead responder? Are they,
It's on Tango 3, which is our emergency response vehicle that we go on.
Okay.
CO2 alarms or PI accidents, that sort of thing. So they'll go in first with that and make sure that the area is safe.
it's not something that they have to grab and go, it's something that's already loaded in one of the vehicles?
Yes.
First response.
We have motion and support?
Yep. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of purchasing the 2 gas monitors, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the police department. We discussed this last meeting. We have the 3 vehicles that we finally did get an invoice for $100,791.
Sounds better, 3 at 33,000.
Yeah, 3 at 33,597.
That it does.
So,
That's 99.
as we talked about at the last meeting, there was a problem with Ford in delivering them, the dates, and so we got pushed off from, what, June to,
Yeah, we ordered these cars June 17th, and pretty much like everybody else on the rest of the country, you know, we've been waiting, so. And like I say, with that, they've changed pricing, everything else on us.
Added bonus, we have a price increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for, I mean, you can sometimes, I mean, we do, you know, budget, you know, so much percentage, you know, for, you know, the cost to go up. However, not the way it did this time. You know, we're used to paying roughly 28,000. Last year, last year we paid 28,890 per car.
I think we budgeted about 30,
Yeah, close to.
around 30, but it's
Yeah.
33.
Yeah, and the problem with that is there was no pricing come out on these cars until the end of June. So way after we could do our budget or get our budget together. So unfortunately, you know, we didn't shoot high enough because we sure didn't expect this. But hopefully from this point going forward, we shouldn't have an issue because they did retool these vehicles from top to bottom, and I can't see them doing that again anytime soon, so.
You have everybody lined up to put the equipment into it that's
Yeah,
required?
we do everything ourselves in-house.
Make a motion to approve the 3 vehicles for the police department, 3 at $33,597 from line 207-970.
Support.
Motion and support. Any more discussion? And the 3 that we're replacing will sell.
Correct.
And we may look at one for our building department and get rid of that old Crown Vic. So,
I'll get you a good estimate.
yeah, okay. So, just to let the board know. Any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Joanne Shirkey?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Sandy Kupel?
Yes.
Chris O'Regan?
Yes.
Christie Hilton?
Yes.
Artie Bryson?
Yes. And they're gonna be blue, right?
Blue and black?
Blue and black. Gonna muskrat them out.
You gotta be surprised.
Yeah,
We don't know, we just told them send us whatever.
okay. Anything but what? Green?
Yeah, anything but green and white.
Yeah, I think they should all be green and white. But, okay, next we have request for outhouse variance. This was turned over to me, I think, in December. We have a portable toilet ordinance, and in the, and this ordinance is not under the regular zoning ordinance. That's why it's coming before us, if you're wondering why. If it was in the regular zoning ordinance, then any appeal would go to the ZBA and not us. But this is a township ordinance, not a zoning ordinance. And in this ordinance, as you see, it's in there that basically we don't allow outhouses in the township. They call them privy, but, you know, we don't really, I'll just say outhouses. And Bowden's are asking for variance to this ordinance. She has a medical, if you, I'll talk for you, and you can add on. She has a medical condition, and her house, their yard is, what, 460 foot long, and when she's working in the backyard, she necessarily can't always make it to the house. And that's the reason why they're asking for a variance of this outhouse. So, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kathleen Boughton. I live at 5070 Green Drive with my husband, Steve Boughton, that is here with us tonight. I'm here for a variance regarding an outhouse on the island. And it's ordinance number 146.
Yep.
There's been a lot of, this is a current issue that has been ongoing regarding the outhouse since September, when the code enforcement officer first approached me on it. But since then, there have been many past allegations that have been brought via emails to all 3 township boards and their members, to our code enforcement officer and the building department. Additionally, these issues have been brought before the Algonac School Superintendent, Al Latost, and managers at Dean Transportation, and all have spent countless community hours dealing with this neighbor that has brought the most current allegations regarding the outhouse to the township. For example, on September 17th of 2018, there was a FOIA request that was sent to Algonac Community Schools through Al Latost, which is our superintendent, through this neighbor, stating, and this is regarding a bus issue, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of these issues, but maybe you're not. But in writing, the neighbor states, "The bus left this morning and did not return. Thank you for the help in getting the bus removed. I trust it will not be back. If it does come back, it will be DEFCON 1. I looked at my husband and I said, "What's DEFCON 1? I had no idea. Well, apparently it's like level 1 of military defense over a school bus that is transporting children back and forth from the island to Algonac schools. And this has been going on almost 20 months. This is the correspondence that I retrieved from FOIA regarding this neighbor, and this is all of the documents that have been sent to townships, all 3 boards, school district, Dean Transportation. A tremendous amount of time and effort on all of your parts have gone into this, trying to somehow get this person to stop ranting.
So basically, you're saying you don't get along very well with your neighbor?
Well, he doesn't get along with
Right,
me.
okay.
You know, the last allegation, our code enforcement officer came out on September 17th, I believe, regarding the outhouse. This outhouse has been on that island for 80-plus years. It was built by Papier Beauregard, and I've been trying to restore it.
Didn't you have it at a different location?
Originally, it was at 128 Beauregard, which was the original cottage on the island, which is just upriver from San Souci. I should have brought some water. Since then, we moved, and when we moved, we took the outhouse to the new piece of property that we've been there, I'm going to guess off the top of my head, maybe 14 years. And the outhouse has been there for just about that amount of time. No allegations were ever brought regarding that outhouse up until I started redoing it. And I started to redo it because I have a medical issue. I need to be able to go pee. Guys, I can't go behind a tree, and I can't go behind the garage. I just need to be able to go pee. I've had surgery one time already, and I just need to be able to go pee. Now, I find myself in a roundabout way. I'm not usually on public television talking about having to go pee. you know? But I think that this issue needs to be brought in front of your attention because it's a medical issue. And since September, between Cindy Babish and Artie Bryson and Sean Murphy, the building inspector guy, I've had between 17 and 20 contacts trying to get this all resolved. So here I am again in front of you guys now because there's been another allegation came in regarding the outhouse just this past week when all you board members were inundated with a page and a half of his rant. I'm not sure what else to call it. But I do have a medical need. Currently, I'm under the care of Dr. Marilani. She's with the Michigan Institute for Urology. And like I said, I've already had one surgery. My property is quite long. It's like one football field, another half of a football field. So when I'm out there sandbagging or doing riprap or whatever I'm doing out there, I need to be able to use a bathroom.
Excuse me, apparently you can't use a four-wheeler or a bicycle to go back and forth to the restroom?
Well, I have a footbridge. The footbridge is about 70 feet long, and it's up, the incline is very steep. You have to go across, and then boom, you would be coming down rather swiftly. So it's just a lot of space. I do have packets for all of you I made up because I did submit packets to the, for a zoning board of appeal, and it was returned to me. If I may approach the board,
Sure.
I can give you what I have. And this is basically how it's been constructed. Oops, sorry. It's self-contained. It does not go into the ground. I'm short one. I'm
That's
sorry,
okay,
guys.
we can share. Thank you.
It's self-contained. It's on a cement slab that is 5 inches thick. On top of that, it has cement block that go around that with hurricane straps as well as bolts to secure it in there. It has a tank in there that is I'm probably not going to pronounce it right. Permeable, in other words, it's a very thick plastic tank in there. What else? Let me go through it. It's a 35-gallon tank. There's no solids. There would be no solids. It's only urine. I would keep it locked. It's only for me, not for anybody else. I bought some hand-split cedar shakes to go on the outside to make it nice. The shingles match my house shingles. It's not an eyesore by any means. I do have a contract with ABC to service it. I believe I included that in your packet as well. I also have 2 statements from my 2 neighbors, Charlene Thornton and Stan Barker. Neither one of them have any complaints about it. I just don't really know where to go at this point. I need to be able to use the facility so I don't pee my pants. I mean, it's just the bottom line. It's stationary, it is not portable. There's no pit there.
So you have a shed with a 2-seater in it?
It's 1-seater, sir. It's the original C2 and it has quite the radius on it. It's the original one. You're more than welcome to come by and take a look.
Well, I see three issues. I sat on the planning commission, although this wouldn't come for us, it'd probably come for the ZBA. I'd rather have our planners take a look at it, but however, with that being said, I see three issues here. Number one, it's not in our ordinances to have a permanent outhouse or privy, as it says. Number two, you're not in compliance anyways with the side yard setbacks, okay? That, you don't meet the qualification for that. I see a location facility agreed upon with James Baker. Has that been recorded?
I submitted a signed
No,
statement.
has it been recorded with the Clay Township or the county?
Didn't know I didn't know I had to, sir. I've never been in front of it. All I want to do is pee. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, our
I don't want to
building,
grow pot. I don't want to do anything. I just want to
our
pee.
building code says you have to, for auxiliary building, you gotta be 3 feet from the,
Yeah,
and this is 2 foot 4 inches, so it's 8 inches.
yeah.
Too close to the side location. That's part of the building code. And a privy is designed, is defined, one or more seats and a pit serving as a toilet. She doesn't have a pit.
There is no pit.
The essence of a portable toilet is just not portable.
Right.
It's not portable, and it is self-contained.
And you do have a cleaning contract with ABC, right?
Oh, yes.
To
I
pump
do
it
have a
out, so
cleaning
it
contract.
doesn't end up in the river.
And it really does protect the safety and the health of other individuals because it isn't going into the ground. There's outhouses on that island. If you drive around, you will see them. I've counted 9 of them that are already on that island. And I think with our high water, I think it could very well be an issue in the future that people are going to be seeking to be able to have an outhouse to use.
There will be.
We
Portable
spent 2
toilet.
years ago $20,000 putting in a new septic tank and field by our house. So
Well, so this is a portable toilet. It's not portable, though.
no,
Not portable.
it's not portable. The structure was built 80-plus years ago, like I said. It's been on there for a long, long time. I just find myself with medical issues where I need to be able to, because I work over there. I work on we call it the mainland part of our lot, where we did probably 2,500 sandbags this year. Two 10-yard dumps of riprap by hand that we moved around. We're trying to protect our property as well.
Ms. Broughton,
Yes.
can you see this from the road?
Yes, you can.
Right about here.
It's approximately, I don't know, over 300 feet from the road, though. It's got nice shingles. We use 40-year shingles on it to match the house. I bought hand-split cedar shakes to go on there. You probably don't want to know what I spent on those cedar shakes.
That's got nothing to do with this.
It's not being used in the winter. It would only be used when I'm out there working. It would be locked. I just need to be able to go pee, guys.
Would it be possible to move it so it's within the side yard setback?
Well, I don't understand the problem with the setback, because the neighbor where the setback is being concerned with has no problem with it, he wanted it.
Right, okay.
It fits between our bridges.
Then they have to get a variance.
Well, that's why they're here. It's not a zoning ordinance, it's a
And
township
actually, if you
ordinance.
look at his bridge is
So they're asking
too
us for
close to the
variance.
property line anyways. It's been
Right.
that way for 60 years.
Already included this as a guide for us to use, but this would not go to zoning.
No, I tried to go to zoning and my packet was returned to me.
Would this pass? Would they-
I can't answer that at this point. I couldn't. Not supposed to discuss it as a board member, a zoning board member. Against the law. But this is something, this is a portable toilet ordinance.
Well, when I read through the ordinance, it does talk about a portable toilet, and it's not portable. I tried to make it, safe for the environment.
It'll look better than some of the houses.
Does anyone have any more questions for Kathy at this time?
I'd be happy to answer anything that you have.
How come you didn't obtain a permit when you remodeled
Honestly,
it?
I really didn't even think about obtaining a permit. I probably should have with the kind of neighbor that I have, but we had a huge willow tree that was next to the side canal where it was, and that willow tree was rotting and it needed to come down for the garage. And so for the equipment to be able to get in there to take care of that huge willow tree, that had to be moved. So that was why it was moved. And then,
Was talking with the neighbor. We never envisioned a problem.
Right.
we just didn't envision a problem.
My great-grandfather built that. You know, it's-
I'm just trying to be able to go pee.
Is it possible to move the structure out of the sight line from the road and
So far
away?
off the road, it's not a
Well,
road
that
issue,
would
Chris.
probably move it closer to the neighbor that's doing all the complaining, so I don't think that would.
I don't know what I have. I don't know. I know it's over probably 300 feet
Yes,
that
it's
it
quite
is
a
off
distance
of
from
the
the
road.
road.
Anything to move it from where it is moves it closer to the person that's doing all the complaining.
Well, that concern, that's not really my concern. My concern is, how do we find a variance for this? So it's not visible by the road, still satisfies a medical condition. You move the building under the applicable building permits and get it away from that setback.
I think what would have to happen, Chris,
Get it in compliance with the setback. Let me rephrase that.
if we say, okay, you can have this here, and leave it where it's at, they would have to go to the ZBA for variance for the
Structure.
the structure. But that's why I asked them if they could move it. Then they would just have to get a permit for auxiliary building, if that's what we choose to do so.
Does the health department allow variance on this type of thing?
Yes. Their concern would be they have a contract to pump it out. And it's not a pit. And if it was a pit in the ground, they would want 50 feet from a water source, but that's not the case. Like a septic field, you gotta be 50 foot from the river or the channel. But that's not the case of this, it's a self-contained tank.
So under section 1 where it says purpose, the purpose of this ordinance is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the persons and property within the township. So is that the health department that rules if this variance would still maintain health, safety, and welfare of the persons and property within the township?
Where are you reading?
No, that's our ordinance, and the reason for passing it
Right.
is for that purpose.
So
Which
who
is why
can-
there's no privies, but it's not
Portable toilet.
it's not just a seat in a pit. So if it was a seat in a pit, I'd be more concerned. Basically, it's a portable toilet, it's just not in a plastic box. She has it on concrete with a nice cedar shake roof, from way back in
I don't know, it's 80 plus. My husband's 70, and, and he grew
Older
up.
than him.
Yeah. It's been there a long time, and,
Have you checked into having it listed as
What
a
did you use prior-
historical artifact?
no,
What did
but-
you use prior to the portable device that's in there now? A 5-gallon paint can?
Actually, no. I tried to make it to my house, and at times I peed my pants on the way to the house.
Did
I
you
mean,
ever- did
I
you ever-
just need to be able to pee.
You know, I'll make a motion to approve her administrative permit. If it's a setback issue, unfortunately, we can't grant that, but I'll make the motion to approve the administrative permit to leave it where it's at,
To have it,
to have it.
but not to,
To have it, ZBA, I guess, would have to approve the
or they can
location.
move it
Or they can move it, yes.
a little bit.
So it's within the setback. but-
Okay, can you repeat that again?
A motion to approve her administrative permit to have the portable, not portable toilet.
To move forward. Okay.
If she wants to leave it where it's at, she would have to seek a variance from the ZBA for the building aspect with the setbacks. If they want to move it, then she wouldn't have a problem. Or they wouldn't have a problem. But this is insane. There's a clear,
Then it would have to comply with standard outbuilding. Okay.
It'd be like an auxiliary building.
Yeah, auxiliary building. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
let me ask you this, if they build a shed and put an incinerating toilet or something in there, this wouldn't even be before us, other than.
Unless the shed infringed.
Right.
On the side lot.
Right, exactly.
Yep, agreed.
So,
but I believe, there is a practical difficulty there. She does have a unique situation. My goodness, we just sat here and embarrassed her for
Medical
half an
issue
hour.
is not a practical difficulty.
I just want to pee. That's all.
She's gonna have it emptied, it's not gonna smell. Please don't have somebody call me and have me come out to smell it.
Nope.
we got the gas
I just want to pee.
detectors. Well, let's open up to the board discussion now.
Well, I made a motion, I don't know if there was support.
Well,
but I made the
do we
motion.
have support? Any support?
So the motion, let me get this straight. The motion was to approve the existing structure as is. So if we have motion and support, we have a favorable board decision, then theoretically it goes over to the ZBA?
Or they can move it.
Yes, if they choose to
They
leave it
can move
where it is, then they can seek a ZBA variance for where it's at.
I can support that.
Okay, motion and support. We're gonna open up for board discussion now. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanh you.
One
I
thing
appreciate
is
your
too,
time.
that I'm gonna, we're gonna get, with the high water, I know this isn't a high water issue, but we're gonna have a lot of septics failing, and there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna need portable toilets, so they can use their cottage.
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yep.
Do we have to vote on this motion?
We will, when we're done discussing.
That's okay.
Yep. So that's the issue going forward that we're gonna have to deal with. I know I was talking to the emergency manager, we'll probably place some porta-johns on the island, different places for people to use, but,
As long as it's by our ordinance.
right. So we have motion and support to allow them to have, that's why I say it's not a pity, I just call it outhouse.
Like, I have a hard time, as you well know, from other setback issues, we have micromanaging what people can do with the
Right.
property they own. I think it's,
Thank you very much. I agree 100%, and the boathouse issue is just driving me nuts.
I mean, if it was a pit, we'd be talking a different story, but if you're gonna have it emptied and maintained,
Please come by, you'll see. Please come
You're
by.
welcome to stop.
Please come by.
Any more discussion for the board or questions? Because we'll have to call a roll call vote here pretty soon.
So let's just rehash this out loud, right? So
Yep.
we know that we have a building that's non-compliant, right? It's non-compliant,
well-
perhaps by ordinance and certainly by setback definitions.
It's non-compliant by the side setback right now.
Yep.
And it's non-compliant because it's an outhouse.
Yep. It's
And-
been moved
It's been moved.
without a permit. It's been updated without a permit.
They would have to get like I say, a permit from the building department, and if it's 8 inches over, they could probably get an auxiliary building permit.
Okay.
If not, they would have to go to the ZBA to get a side variance, which they do side variances on certain cases.
So on the flip side, right, we have a large lot.
Yep.
We have a justifiable medical condition. And, you know, we have a relatively updated building that, you know, looks maintained. Right? So those are kind of the highlights. Are we laying out that correctly?
I think so. Then you're gonna have to ask yourself, you know, if other people are gonna, you know, feel the need to have an outhouse. But they would have to show a medical, I mean, if they say, well, you gave it to them, why, you know, I want one, well, they're gonna have to show a medical need,
Practical difficulty.
practical difficulty.
Yep.
And, you know, like I say, she does have a 70-foot footbridge.
Unique situation.
Yep. So,
Not self-created.
not self-created. She didn't create her own medical condition.
Substantial justice. The variance would provide substantial justice by granting property rights similar to those of properties in the vicinity in the same zoning district. It would not confer special privileges denied to other properties. The result of the variance should not be potentially harmful to adjacent properties such as restricted access, view, noise, lights, or any other effect not normally experienced by property owners in similar circumstances. I should have put a disco ball up top, we're good. Not contrary to the ordinance. Requested variance should not undermine the purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance as it relates to adjoining properties. In this context, the variance requested must be the minimum necessary to afford relief.
And since there's no hole on it in it, it's really not contrary to the ordinance. I mean, the intent of that ordinance was, we had people placing porta-johns right on the property line next to other people's bedroom windows.
Let me ask you this,
Yeah.
if somebody were to put in a septic system without a drain field, would that be acceptable?
The septic system without a drain field.
So you got your tank and nowhere for it to drain.
Yeah, I don't know if the health, I'm not sure on that.
There you go.
So,
I've seen those.
You have a working, functioning septic system for your household, correct?
Correct.
Yes, yes.
I assume that's on the other side of the,
That's on the other side of the bridge.
On the other side of the footbridge.
So it's not in lieu of having,
No, it's.
No, there's no room on the one side to do that. I would love to have one.
just covering bases here, that's all.
So the house is towards South Channel, right?
yep,
And then the footbridge go along the left side of the property line as you're looking from the road.
yeah,
And then we've got the
back.
garage in the back, right? And this is on the other side of the footbridge?
Yes.
So the road is all the way at the top of the page.
Yep.
She might have to plant some arborvitae's though. Part of that,
for screening.
Screening.
Retaining screen.
Section 4.
I don't,
But I would assume the portion of it has been redone. It's not like it's a green plastic box sitting out
Right,
there,
it's
so.
not.
Took some drive by there one day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful building. That's not, that one's nicer.
Yeah, it's right next to the,
Is there pictures of it in here?
no, there's no pictures of it. I didn't see. Do you have a picture of it?
As it exists right now.
Yeah.
because we couldn't finish it. We were
Right.
told to stop working on it.
Yeah.
Actually, we had the pictures from our neighbor's camera.
Actually, we have pictures from our neighbor's camera, because
Okay.
he watches every move we make. So this is it under construction, but I do have, these are the cedar shakes I purchased for it. This is the one side of it here.
So this is it, how it is now, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how it is now. This is
Okay.
one of the inside walls.
We were told to stop.
This is it
Right.
here.
No, we still-
We put a new roof on it because it's old and it was leaking. Here it is over on 128 Beauregard. When it was, right here, this building here. Who else wants to see? This is what it originally looked like.
There's over $700 worth of hand split cedar shakes that we're putting on that building. So it's not going to look like,
Call that screening?
You want to pass it down?
which I didn't bring the receipt with me, but I have.
You done with that?
We
Right.
stopped working on it on September 17 when Mr. Murphy came out. Trying to answer any questions that we have. That's originally what
It's got nothing to do with it.
he's graduating.
So, got nothing to
Well-
do with it.
But the ordinance calls for it to be screened, and I think that she's cedar shaking it, it's, you know, it's not like it's, the premises, so you're not seeing a big blue plastic porta-john, right? I mean, it's not, it's gonna be a nice little outbuilding that she's done.
so on the pictures where we see that blue trailer looking,
Right, that's Lucy Lou.
is that yours or your neighbor's?
That's mine. She's in
That's on your
storage.
property?
Yeah, it's in storage. I keep her in storage.
I was just wondering on the property lines.
She's
So, is this the neighbor's footbridge?
Yeah.
So this is where the issue is, Chris. This neighbor signed a letter of support.
So this is our footbridge here. This is Stan's. This is Stan's.
The one your thumb is on is their footbridge?
It's their footbridge.
Yeah,
That's where they have it placed, and this neighbor has a letter in here in support of it.
support?
Yeah.
This is where the variance issue is, the 2 foot
I see.
4 versus
It's
3
going
foot.
over on the supporting neighbor?
Yes.
And this is our complete,
And when was that letter dated?
it was dated September or October.
October 21st,
Yeah.
or October, no, which one is it, Barker or?
Parker.
I talked to Stan about it. He doesn't have an issue with it.
It was built by my great-grandfather. It's been on that island.
So,
He never intended it to look like it's gonna look now.
Thank you for the pictures of that. Oh, these are yours too, sorry. They all want to go in front of me.
So do we have any more discussion for the board or any questions? Do you guys have any more questions or discussion?
Not at this point.
You, Chris or Sandy?
No, I'm done.
Okay, let's call for a roll call vote.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Artie Bryson.
I'm gonna go with a cautious yes. I'm leery because I don't want a bunch of outhouses, on the island. I think she's met the practical difficulties and the other guidelines.
Situation.
A unique situation and not self-created. So, based on that and, for us to grant any other outhouses, they would have to have the same test or something similar. I'm gonna vote yes.
Christy Hilton.
No.
Crystal Regan.
I'll say yes.
Sandy Kufelt.
No.
Mark Richard.
I'm going to go with the letter of the law, no.
Joanne Shirkey.
I'm going to have to vote no because it's in violation of the setback ordinance and I'm on the ZBA and therefore it could possibly come before the ZBA. And so I cannot approve this.
Okay, Phil, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, moving along, give me a call tomorrow. Moving along, we have a discussion of high water. Gotta find my paperwork amongst all this. I wanted to get some guidance from the board as far as what, I'm getting calls about, sandbags, sand, what are you gonna do? That's why I wanted to bring a discussion to the board. Truthfully, I'm very, very nervous, especially, since the past, week and a half, with this river's done. It's, gone up considerably. I put in front of you a report, this is from January 17th of the Corps. It's gone down about 3 inches since then, but it's January 17th. We are 16 inches higher than we were last time this year. And that spells trouble going forward. It does say that they're estimating it will drop 4 inches from now till, from now to February. But the long range is, we're gonna be at best equal to where we were this next year, but, a good chance we're gonna be higher than we were last year. And we all know what happened last year. Going backwards, we've been consistently 7-8 inches higher than we were last year at this time. One good thing is we haven't had up north yet the snowpack and the ice coverage, but that can change quick. So, like I say, I'm nervous, and I guess I want feedback from the board. Do we want to, I'm gonna ask you questions, do we want to supply sandbags and sand going forward? And if so, when do we want to start that? Because I've been telling everybody now's the time to get prepared for what could be coming. And how do you want to work it? I personally do not want to get involved in selling those water diversion tubes. I don't think that's a role that the township should take on. I mean, I did that as yeah, basically a courtesy, and, I'm thinking that we'd sell, 50 people or 50 tubes. I think we sold about 400 tubes. I've talked to a couple people that are looking at becoming a distributor for them, and hopefully they will take that role on, or people can still buy it direct from the manufacturer, and I've been steering them towards them. But, New Baltimore, and I wanted to share that to you. New Baltimore is actually purchasing a sandbagging machine, which they're going to fill sandbags. And these machines cost about between $20,000 and $21,000. There's a company that's got a couple used ones, and they're selling them. They actually sell sandbags full. And they shot me a price of $5,000 versus $20,000. And they do fill sandbags quite fast, and if we wanted to get prisoners or groups, we could do a lot of sandbags with this if we so wanted to do that. But I guess my question to the board is first, are we gonna supply sand and sandbags this year to people going forward?
My own opinion, I would prefer probably to sit with the Township Emergency Committee, so to speak, and kind of discuss some options of what we did last year, what worked, what didn't work, what was wrong with it, and some other options going forward.
Well, they're sitting right there.
Well, I understand,
But-
but we're not gonna sit here in an open meeting at 8:30 and bring them up here and discuss
Right,
what worked last
no.
year, what didn't work.
No, I know that. Well, we had a huge demand for sand and sandbags. Like I say, between what we were able to get from the Corps of Engineers and what we purchased, we handed out over 600,000 sandbags. And lots of sand.
What does that equate to
Financially.
yardage for the sand?
I don't know what the yardage was. We
So I-
were going through, 36 yards a day over here on the mainland, and it'd be 612, it'd be,
Yeah, it was way over 1,000 yards. Mark.
yeah.
Is there a place where we can stockpile that sand if we were to go forward and purchase it?
Well, we were getting it from the local sand pit as needed.
Okay.
And,
It's not that expensive, Mark, it's a trucking.
Yeah, transportation coming forward, yeah.
And the sand delivered to the island was, more money than it was delivered here to the mainland.
Artie, how much have we spent as a township for, the sandbags, carting the sand over the island, carting it around here? to
Oh,
our-
boy.
What, off the top of your head, what would,
For sand and sandbags, I would have to look, because it was split up in last year and this year.
300, 400, 300, 400?
No, I bet you it was about 120,000 for the sand and sandbags, off
That's
the
all,
top of my head.
not 200,000, didn't we budget 200,000?
No, well, I put in 100,000 right off the get-go.
Yeah, okay.
But like I say, I got a price, and this company matched it for $16, 16 cents a bag. And that's delivered.
I think we need to, be sure that our budget can handle it, without,
Well, we handled it last
Yeah.
year. I mean, we were able, the general fund, we put over 200,000, 250 grand back in it. And let me tell you, I mean, we were just getting it because the demand was there. I mean, we were just getting sand and sandbags as much as we could. There for a while, you guys know, we'd get an order in, and my God, in 3 days, it was gone. And,
That's kind of my concern, is that it was being abused, and our residents weren't even benefiting from it, because
well, we
people
were
were
asking
coming from
for,
everywhere.
we were checking IDs for quite a while, for a long time. I know George was at the fire, you were, getting some kind of a bill, weren't you?
That was for the diverters,
Or,
We're doing IDs also with the,
sandbags.
for the, yeah,
Sand.
and if they didn't have a Clay Township ID, if they had a cottage here, you know, they had to bring in like a water bill or a tax bill or something. So we were checking that as far as getting the sandbags out. We really didn't have a way to check it for the sand, you know. But New Baltimore, they're going to actually fill sandbags for people as much as they can, and hand out sandbags filled.
Say, Artie, is there on these bagging machines, is there a possibility you could lease them out instead of buying them?
There is, but if we could get one for $5,000, it beats leasing.
Okay. And who's gonna operate it to fill the bags?
Well, they're pretty simple to operate. We would have to fill them with a hopper. I wouldn't put them out, you know, there for,
Any
if
Joe
you,
Dokes to.
if you had like an organization, like a football team, or we had the police, the state police, and, you know, different volunteers, you could train them. Or we could have, community service come. And it would require, for this, it would require one operator to fill the hopper. But I mean, I've seen videos of this machine, and they sell it. They're quite popular. I mean, they claim they can do 1,600 bags an hour, and it goes pretty quick, because there's an auger inside there. You hit it and boom. I mean, it actually fills the bag in less than 10 seconds.
Who and how does the sand become loaded into the hopper?
With a machine, a machine.
With
A Bobcat or,
Okay, a separate fork.
Right.
Okay.
that's why we need,
loader
Enter the
from the water
DPW.
department.
that's why we need to operate this, we need but we were there, you know, regardless.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of moving parts in there. for
No,
the
there's just an
sand.
auger in the inside to push the dirt down. It's not gravity fed.
So I have a question regarding the island. They can't bring sand over to the island as
Right
of
now,
right
but-
now. And it probably doesn't look like they're gonna be able to
Well,
down the road.
in the
They-
spring-
Well, the water's gonna be higher.
Well, I know, but, you know, the ferry has a timeline around April
But,
sometime of
let me
lifting
finish.
the restrictions.
They can fill the sandbags over here.
Yep.
Put them in a trailer, in their pickup truck or whatever.
Sure.
And take them over there. Or, you know, in a trailer, get somebody to do that.
Right.
So that wouldn't be a problem, but as far as them getting them over to the island, that's something to be, you know, and the way they're moving along with the ferry, who knows?
Right.
The ice comes in or whatever.
You know,
can't-
regardless, they're gonna have to, if they fill them in Browns Field, you're still gonna have to transport them.
Right, exactly.
So,
Yeah. But I know that's the question I'll get asked,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
But, you know, my question to the board is, you know, do you want to supply sand and sandbags going forward? And what else, you know, it's very frustrating. I've been trying to be proactive as possible, but the way the emergency management laws are set up in the state, they're reactive and not proactive. I mean, I've had talks with MDOT about, you know, putting a berm up around the Dyke Road, which if it goes up high, I mean, we almost lost it last year. It's gonna be an issue. They basically told me, no, we're not gonna address it until it is an issue. You know, and at that time, we're gonna have a lot of issues. So, I mean, it's been frustrating, so I'm trying to be, as a township, as proactive as we can. And, like I say, we've gotten several phone calls the past week or two about sand and sandbags and what we're gonna do, and that's why I wanna bring it up to a board, so, it's gonna be an issue, and like I say, you know, 3 days ago, we're 16 inches higher than we were last year. It's scary.
So I think if we can afford it, we can help out, we can do it. And it's our duty to do that, you know?
Is that how you feel?
Yeah,
My
I
own
think- Yeah.
personal feeling is, we have a good fund balance.
Yeah,
Why do we have a fund balance? For emergencies.
Right, right,
If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is.
right. But it doesn't affect everybody in
No,
the community.
That's the flip side, right?
That's
I
the
don't
flip
think-
side.
Side.
Yeah,
Well,
What would we say in rough figures? That this
Yeah.
benefits 15% of the population?
oh
20?
no.
More than
I-
that, I think.
I would say about 30%, but
You think 30% of Clay Township residents live on the water?
Well, but it's
Well,
not necessarily
yeah.
directly on the water, you know,
Right.
because all these drains are backing up.
Okay, so let's use 30. Let's use 30,
Yeah.
right? So that's still 70% or the majority
The
that
ditches
receives
are.
zero benefit from this.
Right.
So,
although your house could be flooded out this year, Chris, from the ditch.
The ditches,
That's where I was going, but somebody cut me off.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You're,
So, I'd like to make a motion to have a workshop to discuss it.
Yeah,
Support.
yeah,
Motion and support.
okay, motion and support.
yep.
well, I'd just like to say that as long as we're equal or maybe a little bit more money than what we spent last year, I'm fine with that. I think our biggest problem is delivery. You know, having sand in reserve, having sandbags in reserve, and having these set up in certain locations. Those are the main three that I feel is important.
Well, that's why I wanna get guidance, because last year, you know, I was buying the supplier of the sandbags, they were out,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so I wanna be able to give them a heads up of what we're looking at going forward. You know, I don't know if we wanna spend $5,000 for one of this rehab machine. It normally costs $20,000. I mean, we could fill a lot of bags for people. New Baltimore's gonna do it. And I even talked to them about maybe sharing it but they weren't too hip on that. I mean, you can put this thing in the back of a F-250 pickup truck and move it.
Well, what about talking to Ira or Elginak about sharing it?
Well, that, I haven't had that discussion yet. But like I say, I mean, as far as value, it's, you know, I don't think I would feel warm and fuzzy about going out and spending $21,000 on one of these, but we can get it for $5,000 and it's 3 hours away. We can even save the $600 on delivery, just
But
go out and
how good is it?
pick.
Is it, do we know how good?
And
it is?
they work pretty darn good. I've
No,
seen.
but this one, how, was it worn
Well,
out?
they're telling me it's rehabbed, it's gonna be in perfect shape. Like I say, New Baltimore, they're the ones that turned me on to this deal. They purchased one. They purchased, actually this one.
So who's gonna operate all of that?
Well, like I say, we would probably get, community services, or if you wanna train like volunteer groups.
But they're still gonna have to be,
The DPW there to load it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have someone there.
Just say it, John.
It holds two yards.
There's a certain amount of manpower per bag,
Right.
whether it's a minute or whatever it is.
Right. This
And that's
cuts-
gotta be added into it, and who's gonna do it?
This cuts it down quite a bit. Like I say, I mean, we can save this for the workshop, which I think we need to have sooner.
Let's call the question. Do we want to have the workshop and continue on with this discussion? Let's call the question.
Right, and I think we should have it sooner than later.
Okay.
I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we can figure out a time and date, if that's the board's pleasure.
Because it'd be much better during the day or the afternoon or something.
I certainly support the workshop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I support the auto
find a
filler.
day.
I support the sand. I support assisting our residents.
right.
I think there has to be accountability. And I also think that we need to charge something
Something, yeah,
to keep this accountable. Because people are using and abusing.
Our
system
good
a little bit.
graces, yeah.
So, are you in favor of we can save this for the workshops, charging X amount for 200 sandbags.
Well, that was the thing last year, right? 200 at a pop?
That's what we're giving up to 200. Problem is accountability, you're worried about accountability, you know, there's certain ways, we have processes and procedures to collect money. I can't collect money. Cindy can't collect money. Chrissy can't. So is everyone gonna have to come in here? We can't collect money at the fire department.
No, maybe they should have to come out here.
So,
And we did that with the, I mean.
we did it with the diverters.
Yeah.
So just listen to this example, and this is rough figures, right? 600,000 sandbags last year. If we charged 15 cents for a sandbag, 15 cents, we would have generated enough money, we would have generated like $90,000. So it's enough to pay for that auto feeder. It's enough to pay for sand to go in it. It's enough to at least recoup some of the funds from the water department and some of the funds
Right.
from our office support. It's not saying it has to make us whole,
No,
but at least there's something there,
some accountability.
some accountability to the program.
Okay.
So get a date and we'll discuss it further and
And that's gonna cost an average resident $30.
that's a fair.
$30.
That's fair to save
It's not
your.
gonna break
for
the bank.
200, yeah.
For 200, but it's not gonna break them. And that figure's for the workshop. I
Right.
don't know if it's even the right figure.
Right.
That's for
throwing
the
it out
workshop.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if we could get something in return, we could also develop an asset, we could have an auto filter. This is maybe not a next year's problem. This could be the following year's problem too.
It's gonna be here for a while.
So if that's the case, then shouldn't we start developing some assets to
Well, that's
combat
what,
that?
yeah, right.
What's a good day for us to meet?
Next week, let's see, the 20th. Any day, I don't have my calendar in front of me. Any day better than any others, or what time of the day do you wanna do it? You wanna do it in the afternoon, or at evening, or lunch?
Lunch.
I can't do it on the 23rd or the 31st.
Mondays or Thursdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are better. What's that, Mark?
So the 23rd and the 31st I can't do. Now, it all depends on what time though. If it's in the evening, yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday is 28th or 29th.
28th and 29th.
Next week, the 28th or 29th?
And that's what day? What days?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Talking during the day?
That'll be okay.
What?
During the day?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be okay.
let's, we don't have to set it right now.
Could we make it the last part of the day?
We can make it whenever we
What
want.
do you mean last part? What, 4 o'clock?
Late afternoon.
I have jury duty next
Oh,
week, so I think those are done at 4, right? So I could probably be here at 5, I would think.
yeah, but our people,
Yeah, people go.
Or I just don't attend.
5, 6.
I just don't attend. Just set a
You,
date. If I can make it, I'll make it.
Well, yeah, because you don't know for sure.
yeah,
You just
sometimes
gotta
they,
call.
yeah, you don't,
You're right.
sometimes you don't have to go.
Yep, you're right.
They
So
call
let's
you and
just
say,
set a
no,
date.
don't come today.
let's set it tentatively at the 28th.
It's just a discussion, right?
Yeah, tentatively the 28th at what time?
Do lunch too?
28th,
You want to do noon or 2? It doesn't matter to me.
11 to 1. Stick
28th,
a lunch in there.
11.
11 o'clock. I'm sure we won't be more than 2 hours, will we?
I'd hope not. Okay, we have
I don't want to miss my lunch.
all right, tentatively, 28th at 11 o'clock. I'll make that a motion that we have a workshop tentatively, well, it's 28th at 11 o'clock unless,
We already have motion and support.
what?
We already have motion and support.
Okay.
We just had to get a day.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the workshop, 28th at 11 o'clock, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Sounds good. Anything else on high water? I mean, it's going to be daunting. I'm losing sleep over it, guys.
Well, I am too. They're gonna come one day and say, Joanne, you have to get out of your house.
Well, that won't happen, but the problem is,
The water goes up and they can't get down the driveway, it will be.
right,
We need a warehouse at the end of the road.
we're having access, you know, I'm worried about Dyke Road. I'm worried about our wastewater treatment, our whole sewer system, the infiltration, it's
Yeah.
daunting. And people don't see that, it's all underground. I know we're talking to John, you know, a lot of what ifs, you know. I know he's losing sleep over it too, so.
But we could always have it worse. Look at the poor Australians.
But, all right. So any other thing on high water right now, or we can end the discussion?
Well, not kind of related, but our OHM engineers. we got
Yeah,
an
they,
update.
it's interesting, I didn't put it in my report. They have to, camera one small section at the, water treatment plant, which they're gonna do Thursday. But we have a high concentration of the H2S gas at the Pearl Beach, pump out station, more than any place else. And that's the problem, is does all the corrosive, damage to the walls, the cement. And the thinking is, but we'll get it in the report, the thinking is that the flow, in fact, they put more sensors down there and throughout the whole system. And just to verify it, and they're going to, the thinking is, we have this force main, and it doesn't get any, air. And the first time it sees air, and this is all IRA and probably 30–40% of ours, doesn't see any air till this pump's lift station. And we're looking at, they're trying to figure out what is the best way to reduce that. We could increase the flow rate of the pipe, how much fluid's in the pipe, to make it less, so there's less turbulence, and just how we can get rid of this gas. So they want to research that before they actually give us the report going forward.
I understand.
So yeah, it's definitely being worked on.
Should have a report in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
One other question on the water meters, electronic water meters.
Yep.
Have we been delayed because of the high water on install or?
Somewhat.
They've been swamped. And
But we're
part of
close
the
to
pump.
having something to bring to the board.
Yeah.
I see they finally opened up mine in the front yard, yeah.
I think it was pretty high.
A lot of it is where we can place the data collectors, which we have answers to now, for them to give us a quote. And so we've been working on it, and maybe in a month we'll have that ready to go, wouldn't you guess?
Yes.
So, as far as the water meter replacement plan, so.
Okay. Those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, well, let's go to board member comments. Cindy?
I don't have anything.
Okay,
I don't have anything.
no,
Yeah,
Mark?
pass.
Okay, you already did. Sandy?
I'm good this evening, thank you.
No, Chris?
All set.
Okay, Chrissy? No? I'd just like to say, you know, we got issues with this high water. It's gonna be daunting. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So,
Like, your whole meeting was board member comment for you.
yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was weird having an outhouse discussion before. I said it's not, you know, normal for this board but we'll see.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Especially one
adjourn.
that's not
Support.
Yep. Okay. Next meeting is February 3rd here. Thank you.